Hey guys, what's good? Hope you all doing well. This is actually my first YouTube video ever, so if you have any advice on how I can improve my video quality, or if you have any video ideas, please feel free to tell me in the comment section down below. So today's video is a recap on the career of Allen Iverson, who is actually my favorite NBA player of all time. So without further ado, let's get right started with the video. So for this video, I don't want to get too deep into his upbringing because there's a lot to talk about in his case. Maybe I'll do a video on that topic in the future. Allen Iverson played in the NBA from 1996 to 2010. Despite of his small 6-foot frame, he would go on to be one of the greatest players of his era. His scoring and spectacular playstyle filled the arenas every night. But how did it came to that? Let's recap the story behind the man who they called the Answer. Allen Iverson was born on June 7, 1975, to a 15-year-old single mother in Hampton, Virginia. He grew up in poverty without a father. He played basketball and football for the Bethel Bruins and was a 5-star recruit in both sports in high school. Due to an accident at a bowling alley, where Iverson supposedly hit a person with a chair during a brawl, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison. Iverson's Hall of Fame career nearly never even happened. But the governor of Virginia, Douglas Wilder, had come to know about the situation, which led to Iverson being released out of prison after 4 months. He would then go on to play for the Georgetown Hoyas. In his 2 seasons for the Hoyas, Iverson stuffed the stat sheet with outstanding numbers. He was averaging around 23 points, 3.6 rebounds and 4.6 assists on 44% shooting, and was terrorizing opposing defenses with his quickness, athleticism and elite ball handling skills. He would blow by his defenders and drive to the paint, where he could finish in a variety of ways. He was also a good passer who could find the open man by drawing a lot of defensive attention on his drives to the basket. But for sure, he had more of a shoot-first mentality. He still holds the record for most points scored by a Hoya in a single season. After 2 incredible years in Georgetown, Iverson decided to go into the 1996 NBA draft. Although this was one of the most stacked draft classes of all time, including players like Steve Nash, Stephon Marbury, Jermaine O'Neal, Ray Allen, Peja Stojakovic and Kobe Bryant, Iverson ended up being selected with the first pick by the 76ers.
With the first pick in the 1996 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
And there you see backstage Allen Iverson, the Georgetown sophomore. Ann and Steve, mom and dad. Family and friends back there.
Listed at 6 feet tall and 165 pounds, but probably closer to 5'10" barefoot, Iverson was and is to this day the shortest and lightest first pick ever. The Sixers were a really bad team at the time, and they hoped that Iverson could elevate their performance in the NBA. In his rookie season, he averaged all-star type numbers, 23.5 points and 7.5 assists, and he also holds the record for the most consecutive 40-point performances by a rookie. Towards the end of the season, he put up 40 or more points in 5 consecutive games and even scored 51 points on the Cavs on April 12, 1997. Although he was averaging those incredible numbers, the Sixers still struggled and couldn't make the playoffs, but Iverson certainly showed the world what he is capable of as an individual player, and would go on to win the Rookie of the Year award. He revolutionized the point guard position with his shoot-first playstyle and had the attitude of a street baller. Before Iverson, point guards were facilitators that created shots for their teammates and played with a pass-first mentality. In today's NBA, you can see a lot of point guards being the leading scorer of their teams, but in Iverson's era, this was unheard of. His signature killer crossover was a move never seen before, because he crossed the ball over further away from his body to make it seem like he was going left, and then quickly crossed it to his right hand, and then blew by his defenders with a lightning quick first step. He even crossed Michael Jordan, who was the best player in the league at the time and was also notorious for being one of the toughest perimeter defenders.
Iverson has Jordan. The crowd is into it. Allen shakes free. Gets 2!
Allen Iverson. Take a look at the crossover. Mike said no. Allen said yes. The bucket. The crowd loves it.
In his early career, the Sixers kept struggling, despite Iverson having great individual performances. The first time they made the playoffs was in the 98-99 season. They won the first round against the Magic 3-1, but got swept by the Pacers in the second round, who were the second seed in the Eastern Conference that year. And the next year, they were beaten by the Pacers again in the second round, but AI just kept getting better and better. Additionally to his athletic ability and ball handling, he developed a smooth mid-range jumper. When coach Larry Brown came to Philly in '98, he moved Iverson to the shooting guard position, which allowed him to play off the ball a lot more. Coach Brown would set up plays for AI, where he would come off screens for an open outside jumper, or where he could cut to the basket and get a wide open layup off of a pass from the high post. But with his mediocre teammates, who could not take any offensive load off of him, he still had to take a lot of tough shots. In the 2000-2001 season, the Sixers managed to put a solid defensive-minded team around AI, which resulted in them finishing the regular season as the first seed in the East with a 56-26 record. Iverson also won the MVP that season. He averaged 31.1 points, which was the best in the league, 3.8 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and 2.5 steals, which was also the first in the league. They had a tough playoff run in the Eastern Conference, where AI had the epic scoring battles against Ray Allen and Vince Carter. In the second round of the playoffs against the Raptors, Iverson scored 54 points in Game 2. Carter answered with 50 in Game 3, and AI returned the favor with 52 in Game 5. After they won against the Bucks with Ray Allen in 7, they had to face the defending champs, the Lakers, in the finals, which were, unlike Philly, an unbeaten super team in the playoffs. The Lakers were the heavy favorite in the finals series. They had prime Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant force in basketball history. Not even Dikembe Mutombo, the defensive player of the year, was able to stop Shaq under the basket. They also had a young Kobe who was 22 years old and already putting up 28.5 points a game. But no one expected the outcome of Game 1 of the 2001 NBA Finals. AI put up one of the best performances in NBA history, with 48 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists and 5 steals, and played all 53 minutes including overtime.
Bothered by Lou. Iverson.
How about that?
It steps over Teron Lou.
7 straight points by Iverson. Looked like he was dead in the water.
The Sixers by 4. 40 seconds left in overtime.
But after the game, the Lakers would go on to beat the Sixers 4-1. Iverson was doing all he could offensively, but no one in the world could stop the Diesel at his very peak with his sidekick Kobe. After his MVP campaign, Iverson kept up putting up great numbers for the Sixers, but the team still kept losing. They did not have any major playoff success, and AI was often criticized by the media, not only for his playstyle, which was viewed as selfish and inefficient, but also for his clothing style, appearance, his off-the-court activities, and the overall image he was embodying. I bet you all know about the famous Talking About Practice interview, where the media was asking Iverson about the one practice that he missed and portrayed him as a lazy superstar.
It's easy to sum it up when you just talk about practice. We sitting here, I'm supposed to be the franchise player, and we're in here talking about practice. I mean, listen, we talking about practice. Not a game. We talking about practice. Not a game. Not the game that I go out there and die for.
But in reality, Iverson was playing his heart out for the Sixers every night, sacrificing his body and playing through injuries. But Commissioner David Stern was still concerned that AI's gangster image could damage the NBA as a business. He wanted to set a product that was suitable for the average white American middle class, and thought that AI wasn't meeting this criteria, with his baggy clothes, cornrows, tattoos, and his love for the hip-hop culture. He was expressing himself like no athlete did before him. He wore what he wanted to wear, he did what he wanted to do, he said whatever he wanted to say, and wasn't afraid of anything. David Stern and the NBA did not want any of that. The thing is, AI wasn't just some random player. He was one of the top 5 players in the world and one of the faces of the league that time. They even came up with the NBA dress code in 2005, restricting what players could wear before and after games and during press conferences. And the main reason for that was AI. From a basketball standpoint, he was having great individual performances in this period of his career. He dropped a career-high 60 points against the Magic on February 12, 2005. His best statistical season was the 05-06 season. He averaged 33 points, 3.3 rebounds, 7.4 assists, and 1.9 steals, while shooting 45% from the field, 32% from deep, and 81% from the stripe. Even though he was averaging an absolutely mind-blowing 33 points as an undersized combo guard in a slow-paced era, he still lost the scoring title to a prime Kobe Bryant, who was playing out of his mind with his 35.4 points a game. Right after the 2007 NBA season started, Iverson was traded to the Denver Nuggets, where he would team up with a young Carmelo Anthony. Fans hoped that these two elite ISO scorers could win a championship in Denver, but these expectations were soon met with disappointment. Iverson, although being in his 30s, was again averaging elite numbers. In the 07-08 season, he put up 26.4 points, 3 rebounds, 7.1 assists and 2 steals. Now that he had someone that could take some offensive load off of him and Carmelo Anthony, he was playing the most efficient basketball of his career, with 46%, 35% and 81% shooting splits. But the problem was that Melo and AI couldn't really coexist, not because they did not like each other. They were both elite scorers that needed the ball in their hands to be effective. That's why they were eliminated in the first round of the playoff in his 2 seasons in Denver. And after their second first round exit, he was traded to the Pistons for Chauncey Billups. In Detroit, AI's performance fell off rapidly. He was averaging only 70 points and 5 assists, still solid numbers for a starting caliber guard, but far away from what he once was. After 1 season in Detroit, he was traded to the Grizzlies, where he only played 3 games, and then would be sent to his last destination, back to Philly, where he would retire and forever be remembered as a legend. The end of AI's career is highly condensed of multiple theories. He didn't receive any contract offers by NBA teams, but there are multiple theories about David Stern wanting to get Iverson out of the league. These theories contain the idea that David Stern was prohibiting teams from giving him any contract offers, although he was still able to make an impact on the basketball court. Finally, it's safe to say that many people were criticizing Iverson and thought that his playstyle was selfish and that he wasn't committed to the game of basketball enough. But AI is so much more than some advanced stats. He is a cultural icon that revolutionized the game on and off the court. He was 6 feet tall but had the biggest heart and personality on the basketball court. He was one of the most influential players in basketball history and will forever be remembered as one of the best scorers to ever step on the hardwood. So that's it for today, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And also let me know in the comments on what topic I should talk next. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.